Every village has a rule no one dares to break. Some rules protect crops, some protect families, but one rule protects your soul. In the village of Akwanda, everyone knows one thing. If you hear your name whispered from the river after sunset, never answer, because the river is not calling you. Something inside it is. Long before the oldest elder was born, the river had another name. It was called Mother's Blessing. Children played beside it, women fetched water.
Fishermen returned with overflowing baskets.
Then, one moonless night, everyone living near the river disappeared.
No screams, no footprints, no bodies, only empty homes.
The village medicine man walked to the river and heard a whisper.
Come.
He almost answered, but his teacher covered his mouth.
That single act saved his life. From that day onward, the river received a new name, the river that calls your name.
Many generations later, a young hunter named Kofi returned to Akwanda after years away. He laughed at village traditions. Ghosts don't exist.
His grandmother, Mama Naya, stared into his eyes.
Promise me one thing.
What?
If you ever hear your name from the river,
don't answer.
Grandmother, I'm not a child. Your father lies in the earth because he answered the summon.
No, that can't be true.
3 nights later, Kofi returned from hunting. The moon hid behind dark clouds. The village slept. Only insects sang.
Then from the river, very softly,
Kofi?
He froze. He looked around. Nobody. Again.
Kofi!
It sounded exactly like his mother's voice. His heart pounded. His mother had died years ago. He shook his head.
It's just the wind.
The whisper followed. Closer, closer, almost beside his ear. He covered his ears and ran home. When he reached his hut, the whisper stopped.
You heard it.
How did you know?
Because everyone hears it once.
What happens if someone answers?
It never calls strangers. It calls only those it has chosen.
Chosen for what?
To replace what lives beneath the water.
The following night, the whisper returned. This time, it wasn't his mother. It was his childhood friend.
Kofi! Help me! I'm drowning!
Splashing echoed across the river. A desperate cry.
Please!
Without thinking, Kofi rushed toward the water. He could hear choking, crying.
Someone gasping. He stepped onto the muddy bank. The river became completely still. Not a single ripple. Then, his friend's voice whispered, "Answer me." Kofi opened his mouth.
Before he could speak, a heavy stick struck his shoulder. It was the village elder. He dragged Kofi away.
Never answer. They ran.
Hundreds of voices laughed together.
The elder finally told the truth. The river wasn't haunted by one spirit. It held hundreds. Every person who answered vanished. Their bodies were never found. But their voices remained. The trapped souls learned their voices. Each soul became bait for the next. The river fed on answers. Every reply gave it another soul.
3 days later, the whispers became louder. Not only Kofi heard them, the entire village did. Children heard their mothers. Mothers heard dead husbands. Old men heard lost brothers. Every voice sounded real. No one slept. Then, at midnight, the river called every single person at once.
Kofi, Naya, Abena.
Hundreds of names, hundreds of whispers. Some villagers cried, some almost answered, One little boy stepped toward the river.
My mama is calling me.
His mother screamed. No! She covered his mouth just in time. Then, the river became angry. The water rose without rain. Dark figures slowly emerged. The entire village remained awake. No doors were left open. No fires burned. No one dared step outside. The whispers drifted through the darkness like cold wind.
Kofi, Kojo.
Every name sounded as though it came from someone who loved them. The elders moved from house to house. Cover your ears, stay together, do not answer. Even the dogs refused to bark.
Then, a scream shattered the silence. It came from the edge of the village. My son! My son is gone!
The little boy who had almost answered the river the night before had disappeared. Only his footprints remained. They led toward the riverbank, but halfway there, the footprints stopped, as though the child had vanished into thin air. No struggle, no blood, nothing. The villagers searched until dawn. They found only one thing.
A tiny wooden toy boat floating gently on the water. It belonged to the missing boy.
Mama Naya picked it up. It has begun.
Kofi clenched his fists. We can't just wait.
The village elder shook his head. That night, the whispers returned, but something had changed. Among the countless voices, one new voice joined them. Soft, weak, frightened.
Kofi,
It was the missing boy.
please help me. I'm cold. I'm alone.
The villagers covered their ears, but Kofi's eyes filled with tears. The elder whispered, "Don't believe it. The river learns every voice it steals." Far across the black water,
A tiny silhouette stood on the surface of the river. The missing boy raised one hand. Then, he slowly smiled. His eyes were completely black. If you are enjoying this story, please do us well to subscribe to our channel. Stay, watch till the end. Don't forget, comment where you are watching from.
The sight of the boy haunted everyone. No one spoke of it, but no one slept either. Before sunrise, Mama Naya summoned Kofi and the village elder.
There is one secret I have never told anyone. It belonged to your grandfather.
What is it?
The Heartstone. The first guardians of this village used it to seal the river. The seal is breaking.
I thought it was only a legend.
So did I, until the whispers returned. The river had not always been evil. It became cursed after a jealous spiritual healer tried to gain immortality. He performed forbidden rituals beside the water. He became something trapped beneath the river, neither alive, unable to leave. He survived by stealing voices, then souls. Every person who answered strengthened his prison and weakened its chains.
So if enough people answer?
He will walk among the living again.
Suddenly, a deafening roar echoed. The river burst beyond its banks. Dark water rushed through the streets, not enough to drown anyone, just enough to stop before every doorway, as though it knew exactly where everyone lived. Then, "I have waited for your family." Then, hundreds of whispers became one terrifying voice, deep, ancient. "Waited for your family."
The Heartstone began glowing in Mama Naya's hands. A crack slowly spread across its surface. The elder gasped. The seal is failing.
The river had made its choice. And before sunrise, someone would have to stand before it, or the curse would never end.
The village priest remembered an ancient ritual. The river grows stronger when people answer, but it grows weaker when nobody speaks. He ordered everyone, no matter what you hear,
Remain silent. The whispers became screams, the screams became cries, then laughter, then the voices of babies, then the voices of the dead. Hours passed.
Nobody answered, not one word. Just before sunrise, the river let out a terrible roar. The floating shadows dissolved into mist. The water became calm again. For the first time in generations, silence truly returned.
Kofi never mocked old stories again.
Before Mama Naya died,
She gave him one final warning. The river sleeps. It doesn't die. Today, travelers passing through Akwanda still report hearing familiar voices after dark. Some swear they heard their own mothers. Others heard children who had died years before.
Because those who do, you find yourself walking beside a lonely river, and a voice whispers your name. Don't look, don't speak, don't answer, because the river already knows exactly who you are.
If this story gave you chills, subscribe for more terrifying African myths and legends. And tell us in the comments, what would you do if the river whispered your name in the middle of the night?